What's up, Conquerors? We've got a game against Storm on Haimiyama. This guy, he'll come at you like a storm, like a lightning storm. So, AOE4 World says he might play China. If that's the case, could be could be kind of a rough game. We're gonna see what we can do against him. But China's a tough matchup for Mongol. He goes Byzantine. Also a bit tough. Byzantine's a bit strong now with the Cistern of the First still and the Gulp. Seen some pretty good players go down to the Gulp strategy, myself included. So let's see what we can do here. So I get my base set up, and in the time I get my base set up, another civ has produced a villager. That's one of the things you'll notice and experience when you play Mongol. Is they will always be a villager ahead of you from the start of the game because the time it takes to set your base up. That's just part of playing them. So if you play them, you've got to kind of know and understand that. And you know, I like to think that's one of the reasons Mongol is meant to be an aggressive civ. Like if you start out and you're automatically behind your enemy, then, you know, you need to do a little something extra to catch up. And that makes sense. Haimiyama is an interesting map because the food's very much out in the middle of the map. And I had a YouTube comment the other day about, shouldn't have sent that guy to gold. You know, you spend a lot of time walking around different food resources on the map. Why do you do that? You know, it takes a lot of time. You could build pastures. So generally I do that because, you know, pastures cost what, 150 wood? So that's a pretty big investment that I need for unit producers and units. But in this situation, I will just say that I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about going into pastures early here, and I think I'm going to because of how far my food is from everything else. My food's really far. And there's a lot of times on Haimiyama I really do come out and get the boar all the way out there. Like that's, I still might do it, the boar and the deer, but it's pretty dangerous on Haimiyama. Especially if you're playing against a civ that, like the Byzantines, it's probably going to make Keshiks, etc. The other thing you could do is you can move your town center out here. It's actually a really good town center spot. So maybe you've got, you know, the faster buildings from the Uvu, and you just went ahead and said, I'm moving out of this gold deer wood, and, you know, then I'm good to go. That also would be pretty viable. In this particular instance, I am going into pastures a bit early, which I wouldn't normally do. But I don't feel great about the walk time all the way out here to the deer, or this deer, or the boar. I really don't feel good about that at all. And how vulnerable those positions are. So I think this might be a game I try doing the early pastures some. And, you know, if I get map control, I might change my mind on that. So Byzantine, you know, hit feudal way before I did. And that's part of, you know, I spent 150 wood to make pastures, and so he's gonna hit feudal before I do. But this boar, I love getting boar. Man, that boar is far. That boar is really far out. You can see he's kind of constantly roaming around scouting. See what I got. That's what you should do. He's throwing out mercenary house. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going Keshiks here. He does a little, you know, Keshik into fast castle jazz. I'm just being annoying here with the con. Let's see if the scout moves to block the stable. Nope. So yeah, I will probably double produce Keshiks and make some spears. So he already used the spears, actually pretty good. So I might be able to get in here with the Keshiks. Since he's used his spear volley. Or not volley, but... I know that Akratoy defense, or whatever it's called, has a bit of a cooldown. So again, I'm being really annoying here, and a lot of people might think that I'm not really getting any value out of that. I would disagree. I've got a lot of villagers pretty close to dying, and now I'm about to get them with the Keshiks on a little surprise. Surprise, fool. So I hit him real nice there. And go ahead and get another pasture in here. Now he's retreated to his food, so I'm actually gonna send a spear onto that deer just so I can be aware of when he moves to the deer there. So I am getting a little trade in at the same time. It's got too many guys on gold. To garrison the tower is what I mean. He has the perfect amount of guys on gold to go to Castle Age. Yeah, he's out of food, and this is the big push we want to make. And I surprised him with the spears there. He didn't expect the spears to be here, so he's out of food right now. Can definitely use that to my advantage. Oh no, he's still got some sheep in there. I'm actually a bit surprised he is. Oh, he did get a kill there. Kind of hate that. I definitely haven't been able to get the rating and impact that I would like here, but I've gotten a few hits on him. He's going up in the back. I think the main thing now is I just continue to keep him off food. He's gonna start building cataphracts. And I'm gonna keep building spears, and I'm gonna keep trying to keep him off the food back here. He's got a very certain amount of food in his base right now. Now he's got a cataphract in there, so you know, it's gonna be a bit dangerous for me. But we're scouting out here, right? We've got the spears out here. Keep him contained in the base. See what I can accomplish. Again, he wasn't really ready for the spears to be there. He's going into olive groves. So if I can get a timing with these rams and bring down the unit producers, I might be able to get something going here. He's going out to the other side. Or maybe he's just going for wood. I'm not actually sure. I am now going to send villagers for a very risky boar out there. So he is food transitioning, and if I can hurt him in the middle of this food transition, that's going to be huge. If I can't, then it's probably going to be game. All right, let's get it. He's gonna commit to this fight, I think. He's using the gulp crap to keep his men alive. I really hate that. Let's get the rest of our boys in here. I'm losing a lot of guys, actually. that was close, dude. That was really close. You see, his cavalry was able to stay alive for a really long time there against those spears and keshiks because of the gulps from the first cistern. So, that's going to be a pretty interesting strategy against Byzantine. And I did try the pasture thing that game. I actually had map control to go out for food earlier. I was a little worried about the keshiks early raiding. He probably, should have tried it to raid, but I had the pastures. So, mixing in a few pastures there wasn't bad for me because the food was so far out. So, maybe that is something for me to try a little, experiment with a little bit more. That was pretty risky, but it worked. And the reason it worked specifically on Haimiyama so well is because of how the map is, or the food is really far out on the map. So berries, deer, boar. If I was him, what I would have tried to do, which he started going in olive groves. If he completes the olive grove transition, I probably would have lost. But that's why I just made rams and went in. He couldn't get to either of the foods down here, right? He could have made a break for the food up here when I had my army down here and try to throw down some towers, wall it in, bring the army, kill the spears that were here. He might have been able to pull that off because I would have had to rotate the army. The reason I made 5 rams, which is overkill on rams, as I've learned repeatedly, you always go overkill on rams. If you have the army can beat the enemy, then go overkill on rams. If you have an army that can't beat the, it's kind of either way, then you just need to make more units. But here I went 5 rams. I knew a couple rams would go down during the fight. He had a lot of cav and villagers. And I knew I needed to bring down a 7,000 HP strong town center. So I made 5 rams. I went for it. He refused to make archers. He finally made 1 archery range. And I think something I see with good and great players a lot is there's a strong tendency to go castle into heavy cavalry because heavy cavalry are the best unit in the game. And really good players can really hurt you with them. As I'm sure he could if he probably should have leaked a cataphract or 2 out here. I had no spearmen in the base. But to counter that, I can use keshik and spearmen. Right? Keshiks are still good units. Obviously, a cataphract would destroy this feudal keshik one-on-one. But it's not a one-on-one. Because I have a bunch of cheap spearmen that do a lot of extra damage against cavalry. So, I've found that I can... And I'm not sure this is the right way to play it, right? There's probably a better way to do it. But for me, when I know someone's going fast castle into cavalry like that, I can go keshik spearmen, and I can beat them. I think what a lot of people should do is probably just pump out a bunch of Varangians and crossbows. That would have absolutely torched the combination that I had. But anyways, if you watched this far through the video, if you could please go ahead and click that subscribe button, it'll help out the channel. I'd certainly appreciate that, and thanks for continuing to watch the videos, and I'll see you guys in the next game.